Good morning. How did you get on yesterday? Italy, Israel, an obvious win, but there's no real trading angle there, alas, unless you looked at the possibility of a first half goal for the Italians. Two good consecutive wins now for them. Nothing doing in League B. Again, if you look at the odds and the amount of goals scored, did they get a goal before half time? Indeed, they did. So regular members will know it's a possibility of getting that half-time score in the bag. Yeah, really nothing much going on yesterday, I'm afraid. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. On to today, plenty of football about. We've got the Asian qualifiers. I'll be looking at those from 1 o'clock onwards. Take your first clue with the odds, and every single away team is an odds-on favourite. So that's an automatic possible angle in today. North Korea, Kim Jong-un has so far scored 827 goals in his two matches. The great supreme leader having a good tournament, he must be said, Kim Jong-un. Playing Qatar today, not really fancy, but I expect him to score 200 or so goals within the first 10 minutes of the match. He's a quality player. South Korea looked good against Oman. Japan have been filling their boots at these kind of odds. Bahrain, very impressed with their recent 0-0. It was against quite a big name. Australia, no, a win. 0-1 win against the Aussies, but the Aussies were red carded. But the Aussies were extremely short priced favourites, 1.22, and you win 1-0. So there's a hint at a defensive setup from Bahrain, but the FIFA rankings should suggest, particularly with 12 goals in two matches for the Japs. No, let's talk about 17 goals in three matches for the Japs. They are in rare old form. They did win 3-1 this year in a head-to-head, and they won 2-0 in 2010. I think that 1-3, given the current Japanese goal scoring, albeit they're playing for some poor sides, fits in perfectly with that 1.22 quote there. So we'll be expecting 2 or 3 goals from the Japs today. Netherlands against Germany is a derby-style match, very difficult to unpack. Two sides in transition, out with the old, in with the new, and two sides loving a goal or two as well. The League B, England, of course, playing Finland, mightily impressive under Lee Carsley, had a real freedom to them, to their play, generating loads and loads of shots as well. Marked contrast with Gareth's waistcoat. Ireland against Greece, talk about snooze fest, this one. Two defensively okay sides, two sides lacking up front as well. You might want to press the snooze button here. Perhaps back 0-0 pre-match in the expectation of a tight match. League C, as you get further down the leagues in the Nations League, of course, the teams get a little more worrisome. Euro under-21 qualifiers. England got the win, did they, yesterday against Austria? Impressive stuff. Again, got to take our cues from the pre-match odds. We don't have any reviews here, previews, and we don't have any FIFA rankings. So you've got Sweden expected to score 3 or more. I think the Belgium-Kazakhstan looks very readable, doesn't it? Yekshemesh, Borat's boys, really not up to it against a side like Belgium, if they're relative to their first 11's world rankings. Spain under-21s always look impressive, 1.23. I like sturdy favourites like this. You know you're in good hands. Sweden under-21s, Spain under-21s, if they concede, got a degree of confidence, unless there's a red card involved, that we can see some goals. Now, you've seen Italy under-21s, 9-0. There was a match the day after. Swedish under-21s, 9-0. You get the idea. What I tend to do with these kind of odds, anything under 1.1, you'll be looking at something like, as I say, 4-0, 6-0, 8-0, 5-0, 7-0, 9-0, or if you don't get a goal, like in the Italy under 21 match, after half an hour, try backing over 4.5, over 5.5 goals. The Italians actually led 2-0 at half time after 0-0 after 30 minutes. So these are suggestive of goals. But if you're looking at Morocco yesterday, 1.05 pre-match, needed a late win against Lesotho. So some sides don't quite follow the expectations. Lots and lots of odds on favourites is what I like. I'll be following these with you throughout the day. France under 21s, Scotland under 21s against Malta. Good opportunity for them to just fill their boots. Turkey under 21s, 1.01 to get your big correct score, win to 0 out. You might want to look at Submarine's recent performances as an indicator of what they could possibly face. 7 goals conceded against the Italians. 3, a win against Gibraltar, very rare. Against Ireland, well, conceding 7 against the Irish. They're in for a spot of bother today. So I would be looking, yet again, at 4, 6, 8, 5, 7, 9, 0. One of those two permutations. Or overs, over 5.5, over 6.5 goals, particularly if it's a 0-0 after 15 minutes. Asian qualifiers don't really impress today, do they? This is the Asian Cup. Don't like the look of those. We do have a smattering of cup matches. Some familiar names: Fremad Amager, Middelfart. Great name for a team. Don't think we've got many Super League sides. English National League I tend to ignore. It might be coverable on Betfair. We've got some familiar names. Forest Green have been going downhill for quite some time now. Some familiar names, but probably liquidity is the issue with these lower tier English leagues if they're followed at all. Wrexham against Salford, 1.45 Wrexham. Nice impressive win at the weekend. They've got the money behind them. They've got the confidence. They look good favourites, don't they, against Salford a bit later on. But it is the Cup. Are they up for it? The AFL Trophy. The reason I've highlighted the Professional Development League, you should know by now, it's a very strong league for goals. So those of you who want to practice overs, and I might be around for these 1 o'clocks, just to place some simulation mode plays, see if I can decipher an over 2.5 goal strategy. So it's a busy enough coupon today, but a heavy reliance on the market pre-match and a heavy reliance on the in-play stats. But I will be around for you probably from about 1 p.m. today onwards, keeping an eye on the Asians and the Nations League and the under-21s. So as you can see, plenty to choose from, lots and lots of odds on favourites. Could make for a good recipe for trading day today. Have a great day, and I will see members of footballtradingprofits.com on Telegram a little bit later.